one of the most important ways we know that stories have meaning and power is because we have such an emotional connection to them, right? Like we remember the first time like you took a book off the shelf and you're like, oh, I'm getting away with something reading this Winnie the Pooh thing, and then you're like, oh, I got to put that back. But there's an emotional power that has, right? Like, and C.S. Lewis said we read to know we're not alone, because reading stories and hearing stories, it connects us to the greater story of humanity, right? My pastor says that one of the core human needs is to belong to something. And storytelling is one of those things that I think helps us feel like we belong to something, Like I remember reading the Star Trek books when I was a kid, because I was a nerd, and there was just something that like I felt connected to this universe that I loved watching the TV shows and all that kind of stuff, and it just connected to me. And so I think that it's important for us to understand the power that storytelling has, and that it's not the ability to, the stories that move us, we don't like put a book back on the shelf and go, that was excellently well done and very nicely structured, and the turning point in Act 2 was delightful, and like we love these things, right? Because they move us, and one of the gifts that we have, because you all are artists, is especially those of you who are actors, like our superpower is our emotional awareness, right? And our emotional availability. And one of the things that my friends who are actors, one of their best gifts that they have is being able to show up on a set and be immediately emotionally available, and that comes from the fact that actors and artists and storytellers, we've got to live close to our hearts. And part of the reason why we're able to live close to our hearts is because hopefully stories unlock things in our hearts, right? In a way where, we can hear a beautiful sermon or a beautiful homily, or we can hear a beautiful song or whatever it is, and those connects to different parts of our souls. But stories, for some reason, they just unlock our emotions, right? And so part of what we're going to talk about today is how to connect the stories we want to tell to the deep emotions that are in us, and is there something beautiful and good and redemptive and actually God ordained and actually consecrated within us to press into that. So that's what we're going to do. So I hope. And again, we've got 17 hours to do this, so it'll be great.
Changes every time.
Yeah, it's going to get longer. Enjoy the next 28 hours. I hope that you all showered.